Hi, I'm Susanna with the Craft Kitchens. How to cook a roast is something that our magazine readers and web visitors ask for help with all the time. Our standing rib roast with 2 sauces takes the mystery out of cooking this delicious roast. It's simpler than it looks and makes for an unforgettable dinner time over the holidays or any time you entertain. Now, my mom makes a standing rib roast every holiday and we really look forward to it. This is a beautiful cut of meat. This is about a 5-pound rib roast, which is about 2 to 3 ribs, and you want it fat side up in your pan. It's a great tasting roast, so you only need a limited amount of seasoning, and we're going to add that with 2 teaspoons of whole peppercorns, which I'm going to place in this resealable freezer bag. And we're going to use this meat mallet, flat side, and pound it out until it's coarsely ground. Then we'll take that out and we're going to pat it right onto our roast. And it makes for a beautiful presentation. And now we're going to add a fresh herb right on top, one of my favorites. It's thyme. And we're going to use about 2 teaspoons right on top. And again, we'll press this in when we're done. It smells so much like holiday entertaining time. So now I'm going to thoroughly wash my hands, and then I'll pop this roast in a 350-degree oven for 2 to 2¼ hours until the internal temperature registers 135 degrees. All right, so while the roast is in the oven, let's make the first of 2 sauces. This is a great savory sauce, and I love serving 2 sauces because everybody at the table is happy. So let's add a tablespoon of butter to our pan, melt that up, and let's add to it 1 thinly sliced sweet onion right into that pan, and let's stir this around. And you'll want to cook these for about 8 to 10 minutes until they're golden brown. So these onions are golden brown now, so I am going to add to this 8 ounces of sliced fresh mushrooms right into that pan. And let's stir this up, and we'll cook these until they're softened. It takes about 6 minutes. All right, so the mushrooms are right where I want them. They're nice and softened. So I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of flour right over the vegetables. And this flour will really help to thicken the sauce. And let's stir this around for about 1 minute. So I'm going to add some fat-free beef broth right on in. Now we'll let this cook for about 5 minutes or until the sauce thickens, stirring it constantly. So this is thickened up nicely, so I'm going to set it aside, and let's add our final 2 ingredients. I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon of Grey Poupon Dijon mustard, loaded with flavor here, and then we'll add to that 2 more teaspoons of fresh thyme. So this is nicely incorporated, and now we're just going to set this aside until we're ready to serve the roast. Our roast is out of the oven. This looks amazing. What we want to do now, super important step, is you want to rest it. This is about 135 degrees right now, but we want to continue cooking it with a piece of foil over the top of it. Placing the foil on the meat does 2 things. It's going to help it to continue to cook. When we took it out of the oven, it was 135 degrees Fahrenheit. We want to bring it up to 145 degrees to medium rare doneness. It will also allow the juices in the meat to redistribute, make it so tender and so delicious. So while that's resting, we'll come over here, and you're probably wondering, well, how do I know how much 135 degrees is on my roast? This is an instant read thermometer. It's not meant to go in the oven with the roast. You use it at the end of the cooking time, and you insert this probe right here about 2 to 2½ inches into the thickest part of the roast, and that will give you a reading in about 15 to 20 seconds. So let's work on our second sauce that'll go with our savory sauce. This one is a cool one with a nice tangy flavor and just 3 ingredients. We're going to add a cup of Breakstone's or Knudsen sour cream into this bowl. And now we're going to add a 1/4 cup of Kraft prepared horseradish. And then our last ingredient to just balance out those flavors, a teaspoon of sugar. And let's whisk this together. 3 ingredients, but they're all super flavorful, and this will add a nice tangy kick to that roast. And all I'm going to do now is reheat this sauce so it's nice and warm and time for our roast. Round out this dish with steamed vegetables and whole grain bread. 1 bite of Kraft Foods standing rib roast with 2 sauces, and we're pretty sure it'll become a new tradition at your house. For more recipes like this, visit craftfoods.com.